part 2 of my substance abuse disorder talk conversation, and me giving y'all an update on where I'm at in my journey. So the funny thing about something that I just realized, it has nothing, I mean, it kind of, but it doesn't have nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So I read like a little ascension. I'm in like an ascension group. Ascension is, divine energies, divine codes, aligning to the universal frequencies, etc., etc., etc. If you know, you know. Okay, so one of the things they were saying, like, you're going to start talking to yourself more. You're just going to notice you have the ability to communicate with yourself on a level that is beyond your, even like, you're not used to this. You're going to be surprising yourself by the way that you begin to communicate with yourself. And right before I started this video, your girl just gave your girl a whole little pep talk. Was just like on some, it was just flowing. It wasn't even like, it didn't even really feel like me. So that's a plus. I love that. Thank you, alignment. Thank you, universe. Thank you, all the things that contributes to me having that experience. Okay, so as I was explaining earlier, this is a history that has been a part of my family for a while, and I started to struggle, and I didn't like myself. I made a 2-year plan. I was 23. I remember this like it's yesterday. I couldn't go to school. I could barely work. Only could work enough just to get enough money to pay for more drugs. Then I wouldn't want to work if I didn't have drugs. It was a fucking mess. I couldn't do any homework without drugs. I couldn't think without drugs. I couldn't do anything. So right now I'm pretty functioning. I would like to say I'm about, the drugs had me at like 50%. I'm not gonna lie. So again, a normal person functions at about 100% on a good day. A great day, 110. Not so great day, 75 to 90. Okay, cool. Well, a person on substances is functioning at under 75% already, being impaired by the substances. And then a person who believes that they need substances to function is functioning even lower. So, because it's a mental thing, making yourself believe that you are dependent on something, which, okay, you very much are. I'm not going to deny the brain chemistry, the addiction process. It's very real. It's very, it's very psychological, and it's very real. And you have to train and conquer that belief. So, or the disbelief that you can't be above it, or you can't function beyond it. So that's what I started working on doing. I just started doing a lot of more work with myself, being intentional about how I live. And I showed up very active in my addiction. Like I started to release the shame and the guilt. And I'm like, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. If you got to do it, you got to do it. And so a lot of my ways in having to navigate that became very destructive. I had to manipulate men. I had to manipulate my family. I had to manipulate systems to get access to the things that I needed or wanted to have. And I was okay with that because I wanted to smoke. I wanted to drink. I needed to drink. I needed to smoke. That's what I was telling myself. And at some point, there was something inside of me who wanted better, who always wanted better. We are naturally inclined as humans to progress, to excel, to elevate, to ascend, to evolve. And this process began to happen to me a little earlier than 23, but I saw a lot of the progression, a lot of the swift changes around 23, 24, and now I'm 25. And so I made a video, and I made a promise to myself that I would be free from substance abuse at 25. And I can say today I am not addicted to alcohol or marijuana. Now I'm still an addict, and any day I pick up a drink, any day I pick up a smoke, I can get right back easily into that pattern. It's only been about 117 days for me. So along with this 117 days, I picked up a new habit, which was smoking nicotine cigarettes, something I hated before. I hated the smell of cigarettes. I tried a cigarette once when I was smoking weed, and I was like, fuck, why do people use this shit? This is horrible. So it's something to have to do with the brain not having anything and needing something to attach to. When I stopped smoking weed, I stopped drinking alcohol. All these things contributed to my brain looking for something else to cling to attach to give it an identity that had been taken away by all these other things. And so I started smoking nicotine cigarettes, and I hated it. I hated it when I started it, and I hate it today. But the funny thing is, I'm still struggling with the desire, the withdrawal, the like, I'm thinking about a cigarette right now. I'm thinking about a Blackie Mouth. I'm thinking about all these things that are not good for me. And the only thing that I know to do for myself is to start navigating and doing what I did before, which was being transparent, being honest about where I was, and trusting the process to where I'm headed. I no longer want to smoke nicotine cigarettes. I no longer want to smoke weed. I no longer want to drink alcohol. But I do have the desire to smoke nicotine in cigarettes because it's more so like it's an addiction. It has an attachment to me that I don't desire it to have. And I can pretty much still function, you know, for the most part. I wouldn't say I'm at 100. I would say I'm about 70, 75%, 80% on my best day, you know. And the reason I say that is because I'm very early in my recovery. I haven't done a lot of work as far as committing myself and trusting myself and establishing the bond with myself that is where it is imprinted in my brain that we are never going to use again. There's days where I think about I may can use in the future. I can make it work. But it's not working for me now, and it didn't work before. So what is going on within myself that makes me believe that shit is ever going to work? And so that lets me know that I'm still actively in my recovery. I'm still facing my addiction brain, and I need to be very cautious and aware and present with myself throughout these moments. So recording myself, talking about my experiences helped me get to a place where I was ready to let go of what was disastrous to my well-being, to my life, to my functioning. And I'm here again. And so I'm here again doing what I do best, which is communicating the truth about these experiences so that I can free myself from something that I believe has a grasp on me. And I want to unravel that belief, and I want to reclaim authority over my vessel, over my mind, my body, and my soul, my spirit. And I want to remind myself who's in power, who's in control, and that I'm more than capable of releasing this addiction. And I don't have to be oppressed by this thing. It's not healthy. It's not beneficial. It takes more than it ever can give temporarily, and it's just no longer something that is in alignment with where I'm headed, my frequency. Temporary gratification is not enough to sustain my long-term development and where I want to go in my life. This is something that I know. This is something that I believe. This is something that I trust. This is something that I want to be glued or stuck or running throughout the receptors in my brain over the desire to do things that are no longer beneficial. Not even the slightest. It was never beneficial. So fuck a no longer. But again, addiction brain tells you that you need these things. These things will help you get through the day better. And honestly, it's just an escape. It was just another reason for me not to acknowledge the sadness, the grief, the hardship, the irritation, the frustration, the anger, the confusion, the scare, the fear. It's like all these things are things we do, or I did, to push past all of the emotions I didn't want to experience. And it's time that I allow myself to experience the full spectrum of my emotions, because the only way out is through. The only way to a more healed person, especially from the past traumas, is to acknowledge the things today that contribute to me still living in that trauma, and that's preventing me from getting through that trauma, and its behaviors and risky activities that give me a false sense of control, yet they are mirroring or projecting the same trauma that I experienced. So it's like you don't even need to have someone harming you. You don't even need to have someone drugging you. You don't even need to have peer pressure and all the things, whatever it is, in whatever area of life. You can do it to yourself at some point. You become your own worst enemy, and sometimes you get stuck in blaming people for their actions and their past. It's not wrong. Yes, they were fucked up. They were wrong for doing those things. You didn't deserve it. It's hard for you now that you have to get over the repercussions or get over the things that people did to you. Now, what's even more difficult is addressing and being honest with yourself about what you allow yourself to become and the things you allow yourself to do to yourself because of the low self-worth, because of the low self-value, because of the lack of power that you feel you possess because of all these things that happened to you in the past. And I could have went and submitted this now, but I'll just do it later. I'm recording right now. I can't be bothered. Thank you. And so it's very important to address these things within yourself and have strong boundaries within yourself and be accountable for yourself so that you can start to get to where you want to go for real. And because I desire more than the life that I live today, not that I'm not grateful for everything that I'm experiencing, not that I wasn't just yesterday sitting in my bathtub like, oh my God, thank you God for all that you have given me. But there are things that I want to change. There are things that I want to become better. There's always something to improve. And that shouldn't be something that is feared or dreaded, but something that is welcome, because as humans, as divine spiritual beings, as people of the earth, the stars, and the sun, and the moon, all of the things, this is who we are. This is what we're meant for. And self-exploration is a beautiful thing. And I'm allowing myself to expand from a place where I thought I deserved what I was giving myself. And now it's time for me to tap into being receptive of the universal gifts, the divine gifts that God wants to shower me with by choosing to care for the vessels that I was given. And so that's what I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks, days, months, years, lifetime, is coming to y'all and sharing my truths about my experience while honoring the reality where I'm at, while being transparent about what got me here, and hoping to usher myself and other people who may be experiencing the same thing to a place of peace, a place of comfort, a place of less guilt, a place of less shame, into a place of resiliency, into a place of perseverance, into a place of honesty and connection with self enough to be able to overcome what seems to be an obstacle. I believe that I am more than capable of freeing myself of nicotine and cigarette use. I only have been doing it for 4 months, and I don't desire to make it last longer. But guess what? As I say these things, there's a part of my brain that says, go get some cigarettes right now. Go get a Black and Mild. You have a Black and Mild, it's just one. It's all these things that we have to combat. And so I'm going to choose mindfulness. I'm going to choose to be present. I'm going to choose to be in my body. And I'm going to choose to address the things that are making me desire this thing that I no longer want to desire. Rather it's addiction, rather it's withdrawal, rather it's cravings, whatever it is, right? The substance is like your body has to filter it. So the other thing to this is that I've been learning that a mistake, or let's say if I use nicotine today, let's say if I use nicotine tomorrow or the next week, let's say if I even smoke weed or drink alcohol, like doing that in one moment does not negate all of the previous moment. It does not negate the information the quality of life I still desire to have. It doesn't take away from the knowledge that is already inside of me, because all of those things exist at one time. And it's very important for me to acknowledge this, because if I suppress my desire to use, if I suppress the reality that I have thoughts about using, or the potentiality of using in the future, if I ignore those things, they only grow bigger, and then they begin to desire to take hold of me. It's like an infant who isn't getting attention. They're gonna cry. They're gonna cry. Like, they're going to do all the things, those temper tantrums, to get what they desire and need and want. So it's very important that you are reparenting and loving the parts of you who need help getting to where you want to be, or where you feel you are. There's still parts of you who need love, parts of you who need nurturing, parts of you who need grace, parts of you who need patience, parts of you who need time to get to that full 100%. And that's okay. Be present where you are, because faking the funk and pretending that you have more than you have will lead you down a path of regression and depression, and even false positivity. And like, it'll take a, like, let's say if you don't acknowledge these things, and then you have a relapse moment because you didn't give yourself the grace, because you didn't practice this coping mechanism and skills, and you had this cookie cutter thing, it takes away. You might stay in it longer. You might believe that that's what you deserve because you failed. And one mistake, one mishap, one failure doesn't take away from all this knowledge, all this divinity. And just because I'm free from alcohol and marijuana today doesn't mean any of my experiences while I was actively using are discounted or disregarded. I was still a functioning being who chose those things. And to give more credit to the material than the vessel experiencing is a disservice to the divinity that God has placed in us all. And I know that, I trust that, and I believe that. And I just want to be honest about where I'm at and navigate, empowering myself, strengthening my mind and my vessel to overcome these things that seem to have a hold on me. So until next time, I will have more updates for y'all in regards to how this experience is for me, how I'm navigating, how I'm doing, if I used or not. And then I'll also share some more exciting news and details with y'all. So it'll probably be either in a few days, depending on how I feel intuitively. It may be in a few weeks. You just never know. But I do look forward to connecting with y'all and experiencing this journey with y'all, because although very different and new than where I was a few months ago, there's still some parallels. There's still some overlaps, and I want to acknowledge and give myself space so that I'm not skyrocketing myself and catapulting myself beyond where I truly am, which can cause more harm to me than good. So I'll talk to y'all later, and I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful day. No matter when you see this, know that you are a divine being, that you are capable of great things. No matter where you are in your life journey, trust that you are the vessel who chose to live the experience that you have. It may not be the best, it may not be the funnest, it may not be like the grandest thing to you from your perspective, or from what you may be experiencing some hardship, but I guarantee you that hardship doesn't define you. But what will define you is your ability to persevere and overcome what you believe, or what the world says is hard or too hard for you, or what's supposed to minimize you or have you oppressed. You are capable of transforming and just elevating from wherever situation, rather it's your lowest. Now, if you're at a great space in your life, congratulations. I send you love, I send you peace, I send you light, I send you fortitude, I send you the ability to protect your livelihood, your well-being, and that you are reminded of those who who are less fortunate, to remind them of a time where you may didn't have what you have now, so that you could have more gratitude, have more humbleness, and maybe extend resources and aid to those you are willing. But nonetheless, I wish everyone peace, love, and light. And I hope that you all begin to receive what you deserve on any vibrational scale.